Hello everybody. Okay, today is the 15th and we're going to do a review on like terms, distribution, okay, just so that you can remember what we said way back then. Alright, now first of all, I'm going to start with a variable. I'm going to start with x, the one we like best. We said that even though x looks just like all by itself, there's a lot of stuff going on there. There is an invisible 1 in front of x as well as a positive sign. So the +1 stands in front of x. It also stands on top of a 1 and it's also raised to the power of 1. So there's a lot going on there. This I must remember when I start adding things. Now, we can only add things that are the same, or subtract them if they are the same. So let's write that down. We can only add or subtract things that are the same. For example, you can say x plus x, there's a 1 and there's a 1. So 1x plus 1x equals 2x. Or you could have said, what is 2x minus x? And then you'll go, there's a 1. 2x minus x leaves me with 1x. Remember that invisible 1? Okay? So we're adding and subtracting like terms, terms that are the same. Now, what if I have something like this? What if I have 2x minus 1? Can I subtract them? Am I allowed? No. Because this 2 has an x, this 1 does not have an x. These are not like terms. So 2x minus 1 stays 2x minus 1. Right? What about 2x plus 1? Can I do that? Of course not. Both need an x. So it stays 2x plus 1. Then we took something else and added it into the mix. We did some distribution. For example, I have a 2, I have an x plus 1. This is totally different than that, because these parentheses with the 2 stuck on the outside means multiplication. Multiply what? Multiply everything on the inside with what is stuck on the outside, and this is called distribution. So I'm going to say 2 times x, which is 2x, and 2 times a positive 1 is a positive 2. There, that wasn't difficult. Sometimes the 2 can sit at the back. You can have x plus 1 with a 2 at the back. And then you're still going to do 2 times x is 2x. 2 positive 1 is a positive 2. You're going to still distribute. Okay? Now here's the difference. What if you have a parentheses and then you have a sign separating the 2 at the back from what is going on in front? This is not distribution anymore. It's not distribution anymore, because there is nothing to multiply with and nothing to distribute with. X plus 1 just stays x plus 1. It goes away, the parentheses, minus 2. You can also look at it like this: x plus 1 minus 2, where you now associate this 1 and this 2 other. What does that become? X plus 1 minus 2. My negatives are more than my positives. How much more? 1. So the negatives win by 1. That will be your answer to this question. Okay? What if we have something that looks like this? There is, let me see, 3, and then a parentheses x plus 4 minus 2. Now, because PEMDAS tells me to do the parentheses first, there's nothing to do on the inside because I cannot add x plus 4. So the only hope that I have is to multiply it with what is stuck on the outside and do my distribution. 3 times x would be 3x. 3 times a positive 4 is positive 12. My parentheses go away now, and I write my negative 2 or minus 2 at the back. Now what do? I add and subtract like terms. Here I have positive 12 and here I have negative 2. Which one wins? The 12. By how much? By 10. And what about the 3x? Is there any other x's that I can work with? No. So 3x just stays 3x. And remember, this one won by 10, so it's positive 10. And there is my answer. Okay. What if I get something that looks like this? 3 block parentheses 2 minus x plus 4, close the parentheses, close the block parentheses. Now first of all, I got to do what is inside here before I can do my blocks. So first I got to solve this parentheses. What is stuck on the outside? This negative. Only this negative. This 2 is standing too far away. This negative needs to be multiplied with x, and it needs to be multiplied with a positive 4. What happens when I do that? I get negative times x. Actually, there is a 1 there. Negative 1 times x is negative x, and negative 1 times a positive 4 is negative 4. So these parentheses go away. This 2 is still in front, and now I can change my blocks into normal parentheses with a 3 on the outside. Now, still have parentheses. The parentheses need to go away. This 2 has an invisible plus in front. It's a positive 2 and a minus 4. Which one wins? The 4. By how much? By 2. So it's negative 2, and the minus x, I'm sorry, but there's no other x's, so it's minus x. Okay? The parentheses are still there because I still have to work with this 3. So what do I do now? Distribution. A positive 3 times a negative 2 is a negative 6. A positive 3 times a negative x is negative 3x. And there's my answer. Can I add the 6 and the 3? No. Can I subtract the 6 and the 3? No. Why? Because not both of them have the x value there. Okay? Just a quick and short example of all these negatives and positives. What do I do if I have negative 4 times negative 1? We first multiply the signs, which is going to be a positive, then the numbers, which is 4. Okay? So when I times or when I divide, I first do the signs, then the numbers. If this was addition and subtraction, what do? I block and I circle. Block my negative, I block my negative. As long as you've got the same shape around it, that's fine. You could circle both, it doesn't matter. But they both are blocks, which means I got to put them together. This one has 4, this one is 1. How many negatives do I see? 5. Okay? And that was in a nutshell, quickly adding and subtracting like terms and distribution and working with positives and negatives. Thank you guys.